I'm going to get this. Dads for Sens. That's what it is, right?
Sends for that.
Sends for dads. Even sorry, do apologise. So I think we've had you guys in before, but for the listeners that maybe don't remember who you are, and I've certainly been a while since I think I've spoken to you. What do you guys do as an organisation?
Morning. As an organisation, what we do is we just offer that sort of stability, that support for men, dads, male carers, granddads, anyone really with mental health or neurotypical diverse issues. We like to just offer advice, offer support, be that person who's there to give you a bit of one-to-one, offer activities, get you out, just so that you can be yourself, let your hair down and not feel like you're being judged. It's about that. I think one of the guys summed up what we are perfectly in one word, which is we're a brotherhood. We have a great community where we just talk to each other, make each other laugh, just make each other feel normal, and most of all, remind each other it's okay to not be okay. That's the key message. So many dads, so many men in general just feel like if they've got a problem, they have to keep it to themselves. And actually, all you're doing is you're making things worse, and I'm living proof of that.
I was going to say, how did you get involved in the group?
So I got involved in the group primarily through my daughter, who's a neurodiverse child. We took her along to a football session run by another charity, and I personally myself was suffering at the time from anxiety and depression, and the guy who runs it noticed that and invited me along to a Sense for Dad session, which was a pub night just to get out, let your hair down and try and interact and meet people. I went along, I met Paul and a few of the other guys, and it kind of just went from there. They, embraced me and just took me in and said, look, just come along, be yourself. If you don't want to talk to anyone, sit by, relax, watch what we do, join in as and when you want. And it just snowballed from there. A few months later, I suffered a severe triple neurothorax, which was my lung collapse 3 times in the space of 6 weeks. I was left in hospital in and out for the best part of 2 months before having major surgery to remove a part of the lung. These dads, they're brilliant. Every day, different dad was visiting me in hospital. They were bringing little bits and bobs, making me laugh, just generally making me feel like, actually, you know what, there are people there, people to talk to and listen to. That's just what we're about giving men a sense of purpose and a voice.
Well, that brotherhood thing you were talking about.
Yeah, the brotherhood, because when I moved up here, I didn't know anyone, and I was literally on my own with my partner and my child. And I had nowhere to go, no one to talk to, but now, being part of this brotherhood, it can be anything from waking up in the morning. I struggle to get up sometimes because of the pain I'm in. I'll just pop a message in the group saying I'm having a bit of a struggle today, and within seconds I've got people messaging, morning, how are you, Mike? Just cracking a joke, just to give you that little bit of positivity to get going. And that's what we do.
I mean, mental health opportunities for men, I think, are more important than ever, really.
They are now, because I think historically men have always been told and pigeonholed, you don't have a problem. When I was growing up, my dad was very, very hard, not unfair, but hard in the sense that, man up, get on with it.
Because that was how he was brought up. There's no bad reflection on your father. That was the world he was living in.
My dad he's my best friend. He's absolutely brilliant. But that's how he was brought up, and unfortunately, that's how my generation, I mean, I'm 40 now, but our generation still believe that that's how you got to be. You've got to suck it up and don't talk to anyone. If you've got a problem, you keep it to yourself because your family are more important. Your family do come first. But as a father, as a male, if you're not in the right headspace, how can you give to your family 100%?
I mean, it's a bit like first aiders in an incident. You need to protect yourself and look after yourself, because how can you then look after other people? So there's using that kind of analogy with men and men's mental health. You can't make sure your family are the top priority if you don't look after yourself.
No, exactly. And if we rewind less than a year ago, my anxiety and depression levels with what was going on meant that I didn't leave the house, so I never took my daughter out. I wouldn't go to a supermarket because it's too crowded, too loud, too many people. I certainly wouldn't be sat here now doing a radio interview around people I don't know with listeners who might be judging. But becoming part of this brotherhood, this group, that and actually opening up and saying, I'm not okay, I do need support. You don't necessarily need help, you just need someone to listen to, or listen to other people's issues and say, hang on, I'm feeling like that, and then seeing how they've changed and think, well, I can do that.
Well, particularly also realising that you're not alone. Presumably that's one of the biggest things, is feeling you're alone and isolated. So hearing other men talking about their journey, even if you're not necessarily participating, because how does it work initially? Is it you get brought into a circle and everyone? I'm being joking.
No.
Is it
No, it's
how
nothing,
do people get involved with it?
So it's nothing like that at all. So we advertise on Facebook, and we have flyers about, and we do radio bits about what we're about, but primarily you come along to an event we've organised, so maybe an arts and crafts day or one of our father's events. So coming up in September, we've got the Free Peaks Challenge, which I'll discuss a little bit more, but it's little bits we do. You pop along, if you're interested, we will say, look, give us your number, we'll pop you into our WhatsApp chat group. There we will let you know what events are going on. We will talk just about general feelings. We've got many different groups so that you don't feel like you're being bombarded with people complaining or talking. We've got a group for fun, we've got a group for EHCP issues, for example, people who've got children suffering with problems like that, and that's the key part. It's that chat group we've got, so it means you can pick up the phone and call anyone and pop a message in there at any time. And then we have regular meets, and they're not sitting in a circle. We have pub nights, we do regular things, like very recently we done paddle boarding, we go rifle target practice shooting, we've got a coach trip coming up at the weekend, taking the kids away. It's all different activities just to get you with a group of other like-minded dads and carers, just to make you feel comfortable and build friendships.
So, and a bit of a doubling up, really, because it's opportunities with dads to bring their children to do something, yes, but also for dads to have a bit of a dad space with other dads, and other men as part.
Yes.
So it's it's overlapping. So so for men, presumably it's they can also think that I'm doing something with my children, I'm doing something with my kids, but also there's something in it for me as well. There's this fantastic support network as well.
And that's why we do the two sides of it. So we have dedicated sessions that we do, so the bromance, the pub nights, bits like that, so the dads can just have that break, that breakout space where they can have an hour or 2 hours, recharge, refresh, go back with a different mindset. And it makes a huge world of difference. That first night I went along to that pub night and I actually had a drink and started chatting to people. I went home that night and the next morning I woke up thinking to myself, all right, I'm not alone. I've actually got someone I can talk to if I need to now. And it slowly builds up. I put a message in that group a couple of days later, just introducing myself, and left it at that. And it's amazing, within seconds, people saying, hi, how are you? If you ever need anything or you ever want to go for a coffee, because we do a breakfast morning as well, and being invited to things, and it just snowballs from there.
So if people want to find out more, where can they head?
So we have our Facebook page, our Sends for Dad page, which is great. We always have upcoming events on there, and just general chats. We have the WhatsApp group, so if anyone's ever interested, drop us a message on the Sends for Dad page. We can certainly speak to you and add your details there. We're also on Instagram. I have to remember, because socially
you don't do social.
No, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to things like that. I've got a 5-year-old who knows more than I do about it. But yes, we're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, so you can always get us there. And as I say, you got the WhatsApp. That's it. That's about where we are, really. I did want to just quickly mention, as I mentioned earlier, so in September we are doing for a great cause, we're doing the Three Peaks Challenge. There's a group of dads who have been training hard to do the Three Peaks, starting on the 8th of September, ending on the 10th at Snowdon. It would be great if anyone else out there is listening interested and wants to either participate in one or more of the events or add a little bit of sponsorship. We have got it on our website. We are looking to raise money for the charity, so feel free to either come along, because at the end of it on the 10th we would love to have a great crowd up there at the top of Snowdon for when the guys arrive to congratulate them and greet them.
Excellent. Mykel, thank you ever so much for coming in and talking to us about Sends for Dad.
I appreciate it. Thank you.